morning, children. Today we are going to start chapter number 5 of civics, and the name of the chapter is judiciary. Children, before starting the explanation or the chapter, just tell me, if there is a fight between you, your family and the neighbor, who will solve the dispute? If the fight increases or the dispute increases, then where the people go? But obvious, they will approach the courts. So we can say that the court gives us the final solution or the decision as to how the fight or the dispute could be solved. So this is how the judiciary is beneficial. Judiciary means the different courts at different levels. Do you know which court is in our city? Yes, it's the High Court. And High Court settles the disputes of every kind. And the people are free to approach High Court or any other courts for their problems to be solved. So today we are going to study in detail the courts at different levels and what is the role the judiciary or the different courts play in a citizen's life. So let's start with the explanation. So children, I was telling you about judiciary. What all courts are included in judiciary? So first we will discuss, I'll tell you the meaning of judiciary. To enforce this rule of law, we have a judicial system that consists of the mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. As an organ of government, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy. Children, as I have told you before also in the previous classes, and you might have studied in different classes, that Parliament has three organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. And children, you know that judiciary is left independent. It keeps an eye on the other two, that is legislature and executive, and it plays an important role in solving the matters, the disputes or anything. If anybody's fundamental rights is violated, it plays a crucial role, an important role in giving the justice to the citizen. So it is very important for the smooth functioning of India's democracy. Now let's see what is the role of the judiciary. Courts, they take decisions on a very large number of issues. Broadly speaking, the work that the judiciary does can be divided into the following. So let's have a quick look at the work of the judiciary. Judiciary's work is divided into, first, to dispute resolution. The judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens and the government, between two state governments, and between the center and state governments. So what is the main role of the judiciary? It settles or it solves the disputes between the different citizens, between citizens and the government, and also if there is any dispute between two state governments, and further if there is dispute between the center and the state government. So judiciary plays a very important role. Then, as the final interpreter of the constitution, the judiciary also has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the parliament if it believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of the Constitution. This is called judicial review. So children, what is judicial review? As I have told you, he is the final interpreter of the Constitution. That is, it takes the final verdict. Then the judiciary has the power to strike down the particular laws by the government. If the judiciary believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of the Constitution, it may remove those laws and frame another laws. This is called judicial review. Then the next functioning is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights are being violated. So children, if any citizen believes that his or her fundamental rights are violated, they can straight away approach the High Court or the Supreme Court for the justice. And here also judiciary plays an important role. Now, what is the role of the judiciary? Children, this is a short activity for you. You write down here the type of dispute and the example. That is, dispute between center and the state, dispute between two states, dispute between two citizens, and the laws that are in violation of the Constitution. So, this is a short activity. You can try to solve it. Now, again and again I am saying that judiciary is independent. So, what does it mean? What is an independent judiciary? Children, just imagine a situation in which a powerful politician has encroached on land belonging to your family. Which encroached means that somebody has taken control of your land and he is a very powerful politician, and that land belongs to your family. Within this judicial system, the politician has the power to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. And when you take this case to court, the judge is clearly partial to the politician. The control that the politician holds over the judge does not allow for the judge to take an independent decision. So, if the judge is appointed on behalf of that powerful politician, and if that politician plays a control over the judge, that means the judge is not allowed to take an independent decision. This lack of independence would force the judge to make all judgments in favor of the politician. Why? Because that judge belongs to that politician only. So, naturally he will give his judgment in favor of that politician. Although we often hear of rich and powerful people in India trying to influence the judicial process, the Indian Constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of the judiciary. So, the Indian Constitution has provided for the free and independent judiciary, that is fair and justice given by the judiciary. It is the independence of the judiciary that allows the courts to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive. Then judiciary also plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens, because anyone can approach the courts if he or she believes that his or her fundamental rights are being violated. Now let's see what is the structure of courts in India. Children, there are three different levels of courts in our country. There are several courts at the lower level, while there is only one at the apex level, that is topmost level. The courts that most people interact with are called subordinate or district courts. These are usually at the district or tehsil level or in towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. And each state is divided into districts that are presided over by a district judge. Each state has a high court, which is the highest court of that state. So children, our state MP has its high court in Jabalpur only. And at the top is the Supreme Court, which is situated in New Delhi and is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. And the decisions taken by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. Children, are these different levels of courts connected to each other? We have seen that there are so many courts at different levels. So are these courts interconnected or they are different from each other? Yes, they are connected. In India, we have an integrated judicial system, which means that the decisions made by higher courts are binding on the lower courts. Another way to understand this integration is through the appellate system that exists in India. This means that a person can appeal to a higher court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. So, if a person believes that the decisions taken by the lower court is not fair, is not based on the justice, then the people can approach the higher courts. Now children, what are the different branches of the legal system? The case of the dowry falls within what is considered a crime against society and is a violation of criminal law. In addition to criminal law, the legal system also deals with the civil law cases. And in chapter 4, we have already studied new civil law which was passed in 2006 to protect women against domestic violence. So children, look at this table, the two different courts and the cases which are solved in this. One is criminal law and the other is civil law. So what is the difference between the criminal law and the civil law? You can see it and understand it. Then does everyone have access to the courts, which means that is everyone free to approach the courts? Yes, in principles, all citizens of India can access the courts in this country. The courts, they play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. If any citizen believes that their rights are being violated, then they can approach the court for justice to be done. And while the courts are available for all, in reality, access to courts has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India. Children, though courts are open for all and everyone can approach it, but in reality, the poor people cannot easily approach the court. Why? Because all these legal procedures, it involves a lot of money and even paperwork, and also takes up a lot of time. And for a poor person who cannot read and whose family depends on a daily wage, the idea of going to court to get justice often seems remote. In response to this, the Supreme Court in the early 1980s, it devised a mechanism of public interest litigation or PIL to increase access to justice so that more and more people can approach the court and they can get justice. It allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights are being violated or hampered. And the legal process was greatly simplified, and even a letter or telegram addressed to the Supreme Court or the High Court could be treated as PIL. In the previous years, PIL was used to secure justice on a large number of issues, such as rescuing bonded laborers from inhuman work conditions and securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in jail even after their punishment term was complete. So children, I hope you all have understood what is judiciary, why it is important to keep the judiciary independent and fair, and justice should be given to the people. And I was also explained you that even an ordinary citizen, they can approach the court for justice. I hope you all have understood today's class. Go through the chapter, read the lesson and try to understand in more detail. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.